Have you ever wondered what would happen if the world's most advanced fighter jets and next-generation microchips suddenly switched sides, changing the balance of global power without a shot being fired? For decades, a silent war has been raging, hidden in code, emails, and sealed envelopes, as China and the former Soviet KGB have battled to claim the crown jewels of American innovation. Today, the stakes are measured not just in billions of dollars, but in the very technologies that define the future itself. Imagine this: over $600 billion vanishing from the U.S. economy every year, not because of Wall Street crashes or oil embargoes, but because of lines of code copied halfway around the world, or blueprints siphoned through encrypted tunnels. These are not distant hypotheticals. They're the documented results of cyber espionage campaigns driven by state-backed groups like China's APT-1 and APT-41. The fingerprints of these attacks can be found everywhere, from the servers of Google in Silicon Valley to the design labs at Lockheed Martin and inside global chip makers such as Micron and TSMC. And yet, this digital battlefield is just the latest chapter. Back in the Cold War, long before the internet, the Soviet Union's KGB orchestrated one of history's most audacious spy games. Using real people instead of malware, double agents in trench coats rather than hackers in hoodies, they managed to steal the secrets of America's atomic bomb, shrink the technological gap, and accelerate the Soviet nuclear program by years. The impact was seismic. Not only did they shift the world's balance of power, but they changed the trajectory of geopolitics, industry, and security for generations. Let's dig deeper. The methods have changed, but the motivations remain strikingly familiar. While the KGB relied on ideology and human networks in places like Los Alamos, today's Chinese espionage blends cyber attacks with targeted recruitment and supply chain manipulation. One operation alone, Operation Aurora, compromised over 30 major U.S. companies in a matter of weeks. More recent attacks, orchestrated by APT-40 and APT-41, have targeted everything from advanced semiconductor designs to COVID-19 research, sometimes stealing hundreds of gigabytes of sensitive project data. But what do these numbers mean for everyday Americans? For one, intellectual property theft results in fewer high-tech jobs, slower innovation, and even risks to national security.
The direct impact hits hardest in regions that depend on manufacturing and technology sectors, places where the next breakthrough could mean thousands of new positions or billions in exports. For companies, the consequences can be existential: lost competitiveness, legal battles that drag on for years, and an ongoing struggle to adapt amid a constant digital siege. These attacks are far from random. Chinese state and military groups pick their targets strategically, zeroing in on industries that will fuel future growth: semiconductors, aerospace, pharmaceuticals. The list of victims reads like a who's who of American industry: Google, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Westinghouse, and dozens of others. In some cases, entire blueprints for fighter jets and cutting-edge nuclear reactors have ended up in the hands of Chinese companies, sometimes appearing in near-identical form in rival products sweeping global markets. The scale is staggering. FBI reports show over 1,000 ongoing investigations into Chinese espionage, a figure that only scratches the surface. The Department of Justice has charged more than 50 Chinese hackers and agents since 2000, but successful prosecutions are rare given the international nature of these crimes. Estimates from the U.S. Economic Security Review Commission put the annual damage at between $225 and $600 billion. But some believe the real figure could be double or even triple that amount when lost opportunities and long-term ripple effects are included. Contrast this with the KGB's legacy. Their operations during the Cold War, while smaller in number compared to today's cyber campaigns, achieved outsized strategic results. The theft of the atomic bomb's design compressed years of scientific research and billions in spending into a package that changed global calculus almost overnight. The methods were analog: wiretaps, bugging devices, secret courier systems, but the stakes were just as high, if not higher, measured in the security of entire nations, not simply quarterly profits. Both eras share one critical theme: that technological superiority is never guaranteed. Each side, whether the Soviet Union in 1945 or China in 2025, understands that the next leap forward requires more than just brilliant minds. It takes access to what others have built.
For the United States, it raises urgent questions. How should defense and tech firms protect themselves in an age when intellectual property can be stolen remotely? How does Washington craft policies to deter cyber espionage without stifling innovation? And is the country prepared for a future where adversaries are as comfortable gaming networks as they are running covert operations? The dialogue isn't just about national security. It's about the soul of American innovation. Every time a microchip design or missile blueprint leaves the country, competitors down the road and overseas gain a leg up. That means fewer resources for homegrown talent and more pressure on U.S. companies to constantly reinvent themselves just to stay in the game. The ripple effect touches everything: jobs, academic research, consumer electronics, even how the military prepares for tomorrow's conflicts. But there's another dimension to consider: detection and accountability. Today's cyber campaigns are easier to trace, thanks to forensic technology and global collaboration. Indictments, public attribution, and sanctions are becoming part of the playbook. Contrast that with the Cold War, where many KGB operations only came to light decades later, and often only after catastrophic breaches or defections. And yet, despite these advances, tackling state-backed espionage is an uphill battle. Chinese hackers and intelligence agents adapt rapidly, leveraging new tools, exploiting supply chains, and developing more subtle social engineering techniques. Meanwhile, regulatory and diplomatic efforts struggle to keep pace. So where does this leave industry leaders like Elon Musk and the millions of Americans who depend on technology-driven growth? For Musk and for every tech visionary, the new frontier isn't just launching rockets or designing electric cars, it's building resilience against invisible threats that move faster than any ship or missile. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's crucial to remember that innovation isn't just an American story, it's a global competition playing out at the intersection of cyber, industry, and geopolitics. The battle for intellectual property defines who leads and who follows well into the future. So the next time you see a headline about a major breach or hear about another lawsuit over trade secrets, think beyond the ones and zeros or the silent spies of decades past. Consider the interconnected stakes: security, jobs, economic influence, and America's place in a rapidly shifting world. And now, it's your turn.
What do you think? Is the United States truly prepared for the challenges this new era poses? Can American ingenuity outpace global threats, not just on the drawing board, but across every server and factory floor? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this isn't just about headlines, it's about shaping the future you want to see.